What is RELI? Part 1. Talking about Receptive-Expressive Language Impairment. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. My name is Lathen, as you can tell by the channel description down below. Lathen, me, designs, not part of my actual name, but my channel name, yes. So, hi, I'm Lathen, and today we're not going to be talking about designs, or transitioning, or cosplay, or art, or anything like that that's normally on my channel. Today it's going to be a bit more informative than that. We're going to talk about something that I have, which is RELI, or Receptive-Expressive Language Impairment. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. This used to be known as Mixed Receptive Expressive Language Disorder, which is what I called it for a very long time, until I found out about that they changed it to RELI. So, you know, woo, changing things. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna get on with this, and I'm gonna tell you what it means. I'm gonna break this down. So now, before I begin explaining everything, I feel like I should have a disclaimer here. I'm not a professional. I do not have a degree in psychology or whatever it is that teaches you about RELI. I'm just someone that has it and just looked up the information myself on the Googles. On the Google, so I could learn more about it. And so that way I could pinpoint, you know, what on there applies to my situation that I found, and, you know, ways to sort of help myself and to understand myself better, so I don't sit there wondering, why am I such a mess? And I found the reason why, and I just sort of grew and learned how to make things easier on myself. So yeah, so essentially I will be going through what each part of the receptive expressive language impairment means, so that you all can understand as I understand. And I really hope this makes sense. Again, I'm not a professional, so there's that for you. So without further ado, let's get continued on to today's video, because I pretty much wasted a lot of your time at this point, and some of you have probably already clicked out. But if you're still here and want to learn, thank you so much. Thank you. We're gonna go. Now, continuing. Yeah, let's do this. Alright, so as a broad overview, RELI is the difficulty when understanding and using spoken language. I can read language just fine and understand it just fine. It's when it's spoken that, you know, some issues may or may not arise. So, as you can probably gather, RELI is a combination of a receptive language impairment and an expressive language impairment. And in order to fully understand what it means to have RELI, I think it would help for me to tell you exactly what it means to have each of the 2 individual language impairments. Because it is actually, from what I found, very rarely do people have RELI. They will sometimes either have a receptive language impairment or an expressive language impairment. I'm one of the few individuals that has both. There are probably more like me out there, and if you're there, hi! And if you have one of the others, hello to you as well! Good luck with everything! We're gonna continue on with this video and learning things, yeah! So a receptive language impairment has to do with how the brain interprets spoken words. Now essentially what this means is that sometimes your brain is unable to understand what is being said. Like, you hear the words, but your brain isn't translating them correctly for you to understand what is actually being said. You hear them just fine, it's just, it doesn't make sense. The words feel like gibberish inside your brain. You know, there's nothing clicks, essentially, for that one. Another thing is that you will sometimes forget or omit parts of directions. This was my issue when I was really little. My mom once told me to go to my room, clean it, and then go take a nap. I heard the directions, and I believe I might have parroted them back to her. But when I got to my room, the only part my brain remembered was to go to my room and take a nap. It completely forgot that I had to clean my room. That's what I was told. That direction in the middle completely got erased. And so that was sort of a frustrating thing, probably for my mom. Probably, yes, it was very frustrating. Yes, thank you, Rain. You reminded me to take a nap, but not to clean my room. Thank you, Rain. Another thing would be difficulty organizing your thoughts. And I'm pretty sure most of us have an example of that. Some of us probably do have difficulties organizing thoughts on certain days, so I don't really have a ready example for that one. Sorry. And those are the main things that I've found that are part of the receptive language impairment. And, you know, not a lot. Not a lot really for those ones. Pretty straightforward. So now I'm going to go into the expressive language impairment, which they have a lot more of for that one. So let's dive in, shall we? Well, a receptive language impairment has to deal with how the brain interprets spoken language. I'm sure, as you can gather, the expressive language impairment has to do with how your brain essentially, one way I would say it is translating language in a way so that you can speak it, but at the same time also be understood. Now, an easier definition for that would be difficulty in expressing one's thoughts and ideas, which honestly sounds a lot more easier to say than what I did earlier, so I digress. Some of the symptoms for an expressive language impairment are essentially as follows. Difficulty with forming sentences, using short words or simple sentences, mix-up or changing the order in which a word appears in a sentence, trouble finding the right words when talking, and will utilize a placeholder when necessary, such as or ah. They may sometimes have a lower vocabulary than their peers. They will also leave words out of sentences. They will sometimes also repeat or echo words or questions. And finally, they may sometimes use past, present, and future tense incorrectly. And those are the main ones that I found for the expressive language impairment in terms of the symptoms for it. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, especially subscribe if you want to see part 2. Yes, there's going to be a part 2 to this video where I will sort of explain some other things about RELI. So if you want to learn more, please stay tuned because that'll be up here shortly. So bye, and thanks for watching. See y'all next time.